Brian, obviously this is not the outcome that you wanted. It seemed like the penalty kind of shook things up for you guys. What do you think really was the crux of the issue tonight?
Well, the crux of the issue, Jada, was we didn't play well enough to win. If you remove the the penalty, which we all know it wasn't a penalty, if you remove that from the game, that's still, that's one portion of the game. I thought the key for me, Jada, was when you play from the lead, you should be able to, establish your tempo, your rhythm to the game. It was a very, very good first goal. It's something we worked on at training. We hadn't scored a lot of goals off set pieces, so I was very pleased about that start. And then it just seemed like, we weren't able to control possession at 1-0. And if you don't control possession, you don't control tempo. And then, coaches, fans, everybody complain about, when a team in the second half, goes down and they waste time and they take the sting out of the game. Well, there's teams that do that in the first half as well, but our team is just too honest. I think we could have taken some of the sting out of the game. Obviously, having to take a couple of yellows to stop some transition moments. Those are always, good and bad in some ways. But overall, Jada, I just don't think that we were able to control the tempo when we got up 1-0, and that was the cause for the result.
Jeremiah, now we'll go to you.
Yeah. Did you see anything? It seemed like you were having trouble connecting passes. You talked about not being able to control possession in the first half. Was there anything that Portland was doing that was giving you issues, or do you feel like that was more on your guys?
Jeremiah, I'll have to watch the tape again, but I feel right now that some of our players didn't play up to their potential in those critical moments. We talked about how Danny Leyva can connect passes. Albert's an experienced guy. Nico, Raul dropping into the pocket a little more often in the first half to relieve some of the pressure. I mean, there were multiple reasons for it. I just, the back line not finding passes in between the lines. I just think there was a lot of reasons for that.
Thanks. Looks like one more here on Zoom before we go to the room. So Charlie Baum, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what's your assessment of your team's sort of, psychological state now, and how do you go, approach this final run? And Nico said that the team still believes that they can get the points that are needed.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that they don't quit. I mean, Jackson could have made it 2-2. Another good ball by Alex. Almost a slam dunk. We had some other half chances there in the second half after we went down 2-1. So I think the mentality of the group is still there. We will fight till the very bitter end. But again, it's 2 tough losses, 1 draw, 1 loss in a row. So, the real test will be Orlando. Traveling across the country, playing an opponent we don't know very well. We'll have to regroup for that one for sure.
Thanks.
We'll go to anyone in the room. Alex, do you want to take it in there?
Yep, we have a couple of questions, Matt. Thanks. Paulo, go ahead.
Coach, it seems that week after week, the chances to go to the playoffs is getting smaller. I asked Nico if they still believe that's possible, right? How can you work with the team so they can really believe that it's possible to get to the playoffs?
Well, words are one thing and actions are another. So what we all have to do as a group, as a collective, starting with me as the head coach, is to make sure that our training sessions are well thought out, well planned, organized, and we have good training sessions for the rest of the year. Then the players, because we talk a lot about the strength of the team, the mentality, Nico's words, Freddie Montero's words, they're both experienced players. Of course they believe, but the words are slowly, not good enough anymore. Their actions, their body language on the field when they go into those duels or they have a chance or a half chance that they can maybe make it a full chance. So we all have to do more instead of just talking about doing more.
Felipe, go ahead.
So, Coach, last game was a really nice game. You guys came back, and it was intense. Do you think that in this game, your team matched the intensity of the Portland Timbers?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, again, after they, put us under pressure starting at about, 20, 25 minutes into the game, they certainly had the momentum, and again, the penalty, the non-penalty, I wish we could have made it through till halftime at 1-0, and we could have reorganized and reshaped the team and gotten some of their, confidence and drive back. But, we weren't able to accomplish that. And so, we take the penalty, and it always a goal right before halftime gives the opponent a boost. But again, before they scored the second goal, I thought we came out in the second half and we looked pretty good the first 5-6 minutes. So it's strange sometimes.
Other questions in the room? Okay, Matt, back to you.
I don't have any other current hands up in Zoom, so any final call for last questions for Coach Schmetzer? Jeremiah, go ahead. Jeremiah, go ahead. Did you hear me?
Yep. Sorry. You made some subs early in the second half. What was? It seemed to be sort of like for like subs, and I'm just curious if there was a message you were trying to send, or what change you were hoping to affect with those changes early in the second half.
Well, look, Danny has been very, very good, but he was sitting on a yellow in a fast tempo game where any sort of transition moment may have resulted in another yellow. And Freddie Montero, I felt I needed a veteran presence in that part of the field to try and help us establish some possession. As far as Javi for Jackson, Jackson has a good range of passing, and I needed some of those passes to go into midfield, into the forwards, instead of just side to side a little bit. So I felt Jackson could be useful in this game. So that was the reason for the 2 subs early.
If I could also follow up, one of the glaring things in this one is just the lack of touches that you guys were able to get Raul. What do you think happened there?
Well, I will watch the film to give you a more nuanced answer, but right now I don't have a good answer for you. I thought that the game against the Galaxy, the partnership between Jordan and he worked very well. I thought Raul coming into the pockets in and around midfield was a good way for us to release pressure. So whether he was there and we didn't find him, or he didn't go because he wanted to stay further up the field, I'll look at that. We'll see if we can make adjustments. Reminder, this is only the second game that those 2 guys really have played together as true forwards. So that's a work in progress. And then, when we get higher up the field, I think then if Raul does drop in the back to help us relieve pressure, then sometimes we go and, hit a longer pass into Jordan, and we need to then establish some possession higher up the field so that we can push our lines up, including Raul into the penalty box where he's most effective. Nico Albert in higher positions. Then the back line is a little bit higher, so if we lose possession of the ball, our counter press is more effective. So I'll look at some of those things, Jeremiah, on the film.
Coach, thank you for joining us.
Well, one last thing. Just thank you to all the fans that came and supported us today. I saw all the tifo, the banners, the flags, everybody. Thank you for all of that. And unfortunately, I also had to witness, George Cascadia Cup going to the Timbers. And so the ECS members that had to make that presentation to some of the Timber fans, I witnessed that, and we'll try and get it back next year.